going to move on to my first question. That will be from thermal properties of matter. Hopefully, everyone remembers thermal properties of matter. Equation for conduction, Stefan Boltzmann, Newton's law of cooling. Is everyone clear with these concepts? Black body radiation. Yes, no, no, yes. Right. Moving on to my first question. Two rods A and B of different materials are welded together as shown in the figure. Their thermal conductivities are K1 and K2. The thermal conductivity of the composite rod will be. My first answer is a very straightforward. If you know this, won't take much time. K1 plus K2 by 2. You want to think option B? The answer is option D. Equivalent thermal conductivity is given as this. K1A1 plus K2A2 by A1 plus A2 is simply nothing but K1 plus K2 by 2. Because the areas of both of them are the same. So we finally end up with this. Moving on to my next question. Spherical black body with radius 12 centimeters radiates 450 watt power at 500 Kelvin. If the radius were halved and the temperature doubled, the power radiated in watt would be. Deva spherical black body. Obviously, after seeing this, something should strike your mind. This is 1880 watts. 1880 watts. Okay, 800 watts. So option C. This is option C. One more answer, two more answers, three more. Everyone is saying option C. Good. Simply use Stefan Boltzmann law. E is equal to sigma A. T2, obviously, A is 4 pi r square, spherical black body. Obviously, power radiated will be directly proportional to r square and t to the power 4. Simply use this. E1 Dava 450, T1 is 500K, R1 is 12 centimeters. Obviously, R2 is R1 by 2, T2, obviously radius is half, temperature is doubled. So R2 will be R1 by 2, T2 will be 2, T1, I have to find E2. Simply E2 by E1 will be this. end up getting 4 times E1. Rest is all math. End up getting 1800 watts. And please remember this. E is sigma 4 pi r square t to the power 4, or sigma into area t to the power 4. Two identical bodies are made of a material for which the heat capacity increases with temperature. Achha. One of these is at 100 degrees Celsius while the other one is at 0 degrees Celsius. If the two bodies are brought in contact, then assuming no heat loss, the final common temperature is. Question টা বোঝা যাচ্ছে না স্যার। আচ্ছা, there are two identical bodies made up of a material. ঠিক আছে? For the material, the heat capacity is increasing with temperature. ঠিক আছে? Heat capacity is increasing with temperature. এটা দেওয়া আছে। One of these temperatures is one of these. Obviously, there are two identical bodies. One is at 100 degrees centigrade. Another one is at 0 degrees centigrade. Now I bring the two of them in contact. So obviously, when I bring two bodies in contact, there will be exchange of heat among them, and they will reach a final constant. And in steady state, they will reach a final they will reach a final common temperature. I have to predict what this final common temperature will be. Will the final common temperature be will it be 50 degrees Celsius? Will it be more than 50? Will it be between 0 and 50, or will it be 0 degrees Celsius? Conduction, simple conduction observation. Obviously, you know, when two bodies are brought together, conduction of it. After conduction, the two bodies reach a common temperature. Tamanna says option is 50 degrees Celsius. Topika says option is 50 degrees Celsius. And I know why এখানে 50 degrees Celsius বলা হচ্ছে. Nita, have you understood the question? Is it okay now? Mm, I'll tell you what's happening here. Obviously, I've got two answers. All of them are saying option A, and I know why option A is being said. This is option B. This is option B. You are forgetting something, that it is given that the heat capacity is increasing with time. Sorry, with temperature. So if obviously they are made up of identical materials, under normal conditions 50 degrees also. But now heat capacity increases with temperature. So obviously the hot body touch, the specific heat capacity, sorry, the heat capacity, the heat capacity of the hotter body is actually greater than the heat capacity of the colder body. So the common temperature obviously always is towards the common temperature achieved is always more towards the body with the more heat capacity. Obviously temperature যেটা হবে ideal case scenario to 50 degrees হবে. But now since the hotter body has greater heat capacity than the colder body, obviously common temperature will be more towards 100 degrees Celsius. Option B will be correct. Obviously, heat capacity of material increases, increase in temperature. Body at 100 degrees has more heat capacity than body at 0 degrees Celsius. Hence, final common temperature of the system will be closer to 100 degrees Celsius. So PC will be greater than 50 degrees Celsius. There is a mathematical way of, are people happy with this explanation, or there is a mathematical way of showing this also? The formula use करो देखानो जाए. Are people happy with this explanation? Yes. Then I move on to my. And this is the easier used formula. There is a mathematical way of doing this also, as I said. Only thing when you use the formula is to remember is that SH is greater than S. S. That's it. Is this fine with everyone else? Yes. Moving on to my next question. Body cools from a temperature 3T to 2T in 10 minutes. The room temperature is T. Assume that Newton's law of cooling is applicable. Here, that Newton's law of cooling is applicable. The temperature of the body at the end of next 10 minutes will be. Obviously, it being obvious, I have to use Newton's law of cooling. But four answers, everyone is saying option D. Nita is saying option D. So option D, option D, option D. So saying option D. D by 2T and option D is T. Anushree is saying option D. So let us see. Answer is option B. Nita says option B. अरे चलो देखे नहीं, देयर इज अ डिवाइड, तीन जन बोल से ऑप्शन बी, तीन जन बोल से ऑप्शन डी, ऑब्वियसली आंसर इज ऑप्शन डी, T by T. Simple. This is Newton's law of cooling, obviously without the sign and everything, because I don't really need the sign. I'll not really need the sign over here. Obviously, there are two cases. First is first 10 minutes, dt by d1 is k. T1, obviously here Ts is not the final temperature. এটা অনেকজন ভুল করে। Ts is not the final temperature of my body. Ts is the temperature of the surrounding always. And T is the average temperature of the body. I think now this it should be clear. Yes, now I think people must have realized their mistake. So Newton's laws of cooling, it a bhul hoy. People think that this is T2 minus T1. That T1 is final temperature, T2 is initial temperature, T1 is not final temperature. T1 is always temperature of my surrounding. So continuing, obviously dt1 by dt is equal to k T1 minus Ts. D2 dt2 by dt will be equal to k T2 minus Ts. As I said, always temperature of surrounding. Here Ts is T. I think already Deva question. Room temperature is T. Already given. Ts is T and T1 is the average temperature of the body. It is cooling down from 3T to 2T. So average temperature is 3T plus 2T by 2. So 2.5T. And obviously it is cooling down from 3T to 2T in 10 minutes. So T1 by dt is 3T minus 2T by 10, which is T by 10. Simply go and substitute this. Again, suppose final temperature is after the second process, because I need the temperature after the end of the next 10 minutes. So आगे 3T छिलो, first 10 minutes से छिलो 2T पे. Next, suppose after 2T, after 10 minutes, it has gone to T dash. This is 10. This is happening in 10 minutes. This is also happening in 10 minutes. Obviously, temperature of surroundings in all cases is T. Already given. So, eta hoye gelo for this case. Yes, sir, you can use that too, but I don't want to introduce unnecessary log. Introduce করতে চাইছিলাম না. এটাও তো আছে T2 minus Ts is equal to T1 minus Ts e to the power minus Kt. তাও একটা আছে, ইউজ করতে পারো. But I didn't want to unnecessarily introduce all that log and all that. Actually, obviously, this is first case. Similarly, you will do the same thing for this. Do the same thing for this. Average temperature, that is T2, is 2T plus T dash by 2. Ts is already T deva ache. D2 by D2, this expression will be nothing but T dash minus final minus initial temperature by obviously time taken, that is 10. So two equations, two unknowns. A জানি না, T dash আমাকে খুঁজতে হবে. So you have two equations, two unknowns, simultaneous solving. এটা হয়ে গেল প্রথম ইকুয়েশনটা, এটা হয়ে গেল সেকেন্ড ইকুয়েশনটা. as you can see d2 by d2 is this. আচ্ছা, এখানে সাইন চেঞ্জ করে দিয়েছে, that is not an issue, don't matter really. and obviously average temperature T2 is this. Solve them simultaneously. You will end up with Tt T dash is equal to 3 by 2 T. So I hope people are okay with this now. Yes. And obviously there are multiple versions of this equation. That's it. Want to move on? Obviously, we have more questions on Newton's law of cooling. If the data booster based, then you can easily attempt those questions as well. Coefficient of linear expansion of brass and steel rods are alpha 1 and alpha 2. Lengths of brass and steel rods are L and R respectively. If L2 minus L1 is maintained same at all temperatures, which one of the following relations hold good? My first answer, A and C are same. Acha, answer is between B and D. Either B is correct or D is correct. This, it won't matter if I change this or not. 50-50 go to the What? 5 answers back to back. A and C are the same. So won't matter. Answer is between B and D. So either B is correct or D is correct. So Shweta is saying option B, Tamanna option B, Anushri option B. Option. So obviously option B is correct. B for obviously this one. This option B is correct. Simple. Linear expansion of brass is alpha 1, linear expansion of steel is alpha 2. All these are given on increasing the temperature of the rods by delta T. Obviously, new lengths will be this. L1 dash will be L1. It has always done linear expansion. So obviously, subtracting equation 1 from equation. So 2 minus 1 korle, I will get L2 dash minus L1 dash will be equal to what? This. Now it has been said that L2 minus L1 is the same regardless of the temperature. So the difference between the lengths is always the same. Delta L is same. Obviously, L2 dash minus L1 dash will be equal to L2 minus L1. এটা কেটে যাবে। Finally, delta T এদিকে চলে যাবে and you will end up with option B. This part has already been given that L2 minus L1 is এখানে দেখা যাবে L2 minus L1 is maintained at all temperatures. Obviously, delta L is same. Moving on to my next question. Piece of ice falls from height h so that it melts completely. Only 1/4 of the heat produced is absorbed by the ice, and the rest of the energy gets converted into heat during fall. That's it. The value of h is, where obviously h is the height from which it is falling. Obviously, this question is more from calorimetry than anything else. It says option A 136 kilometers. So that is option A, Isha option A, Shushmita option A. Obviously, answer is option A. Obviously, gravitational potential energy of the piece of ice is getting converted into whatever. Obviously, gravitational potential energy at a height h is this. So, a drop code. So obviously, this is the energy that is getting converted. Heat absorbed by the ice to completely melt. It is already given. Only 1/4 of the heat is absorbed. The heat absorbed will be only 1/4 of the energy is used up. So heat absorbed will be 1/4 mgh, and obviously heat absorbed by ice to melt completely is nothing but its latent heat, which is ml. That's how I hopefully everyone knows this. Obviously these two are equal. Simply equate them, you'll get your answer. This is all mathematics. The rest is all calculation. You'll end up with 136 kilometers. Moving on to my next question. There is a small issue here. Yeah, 8,000 at a G orbit. 4L by G. Moving on to my next question. Black body is at temperature this 5760 Kelvin. Energy of radiation emitted by the body at wavelength 250 millimeters is U1, at wavelength 500 nanometers is U2, and that at 1000 nanometers is U3. এখানে একটা comma হবে। And that at 1000 nanometers U3 Wien's constant is given. Which of the following is correct? And obviously temperature of the black body is given as this. Okay, by the way, it's a 250 nanometers of it, and millimeters of it. 250 millimeters doesn't make any sense. 250 nanometers U1, 500 nanometers U2, 1000 nanometers U3. Tamanna says option B, U2 greater than U1. Option B, Professor says option B. He says option B, so option B. Obviously, Sushmita option B, so good. Option B is obviously correct. This is the graph. Obviously, first we obviously would like to calculate. So according to Wien's displacement law, lambda maximum will be equal to B by, obviously maximum meaning the kind of maximum energy of it. That is what lambda corresponds to, will be equal to B by T. We'll get 500 nanometers. So obviously this is Wien's law. This is the graph for it. Maximum lambda maximum is 500. So this is the place where you will get your maximum energy. And already at a Dava that at 500 nanometers wavelength, energy is U2. So obviously U2 is the greatest. U2 is greater than both U1 and U3. U2 is the ultimate maxima. So obviously U2 will be greater than U1. Moving on to my next question. Value of coefficient of expansion of glycerine is this. The fractional change in the density of glycerine for a rise of 40 degrees Celsius in its temperature is. Fractional change in density. Answer, everyone is saying option D, 0.020. Obviously, answer is option D. This is how, obviously, density decreases with increase in temperature, and this is the dependence. Rho T is equal to rho naught 1 minus gamma T. Delta T is 40. That's it. Obviously, I need to find fractional change. So P naught के एरिया के आनला dot P naught here, then gamma dot delta T will be equal to 1 minus rho T by rho naught. Obviously, rho naught by rho T by rho naught is my fractional change. That is equal to gamma into delta T. Gamma देवा है, delta देवा है, and that is 0.020. Simply play with this equation. That's it. Moving on to my next question. two rods of a metal rod are maintained at temperatures this. The rate of heat flow is the same. The rate of heat flow is found to be 4 joules per second. Now, if the ends are maintained at 200 degrees Celsius and 210 degrees Celsius, the rate of heat flow is. Maybe should answer it. Deepika says option B. Savina says option B. This is option B. Very, very straightforward. You don't even need to calculate anything. Simple. It is the same. It is the same metal rod in both the cases. So K, A, and L will be the same. Only thing it will rate of heat flow. It will depend on is change in temperature delta T. এখানেও delta T 10 ডিগ্রি সেলসিয়াস, এখানেও delta T 10 ডিগ্রি সেলসিয়াস। তো এখানে যত হিট ফ্লো করবে এখানে অতই হিট ফ্লো করবে। অপশন 4 is correct. Option 2 is correct. Rest of all the properties are same. Only thing delta T check करते हैं। Delta T in both cases is the same. Obviously, heat flow in both the cases will be the same. 4 joules per second. এটার জন্য কোনো explanation লিখি নি আমি। Fine. Right. On observing light from different stars P, Q, and R, it was found that intensity of violet color is maximum in the spectrum of P, intensity of green color is maximum in the spectrum of R, and the intensity of red color is maximum in the spectrum of Q. If TP, TQ, and TR are the respective absolute temperatures of PQ and R, then it can be concluded that obviously intensity means wavelength. In this case, you can interchange the two of them. Intensity of violet color is maximum in the spectrum of B, intensity of green is maximum in the spectrum of R, intensity of red color is maximum in the spectrum of P. Which one of the following statements will be correct? This is option B. TP greater than TR greater than TQ. Two more answers. Explanation option D. Professor option D. Shatamanna option D. Option D. Obviously, option D is correct. According to Wien's displacement law, lambda m into T is constant. For star P, intensity violet color is maximum. Star Q, intensity of red color maximum, and star R, intensity green color maximum. Obviously, we know wavelength of red is greater than that of green is greater than that of violet. If you look at this, temperature and wavelength, max wavelengths are inversely proportional. Obviously, PR will be less than PG, less than PV. Obviously, PQ is less than PR, is less than PP. So option D will be correct. Moving on to my next question. Steam at 100 degrees Celsius is passed into 20 grams of water at 10 degrees Celsius. When water acquires a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, the mass of water present will be. Obviously, specific heat of water देवा है, latent heat of steam is also given. Of 100 is passed into 20 grams of water at 10 degrees Celsius. Water requires a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. The mass of water present will be obviously why the mass of water will change because some of the steam would have converted into water. That is option B, 22.5 grams. This is option B, 22.5 grams. This option B. So also option D. Anushri says S. Sushmita is option, Anushri option D. Good. So option D obviously correct. Specific heat of water देवा है, latent heat of steam is already given. Heat lost by, suppose m gram of steam is getting converted into water. So heat lost by m gram of steam at 100 degrees Celsius to change into water at 80 degrees Celsius is obviously going to be आगे steam will convert into water. M grams of steam will convert into water. So m into its latent heat. Then it will attain a temperature of 80 degrees from 100 degrees. So m into specific heat into delta T. So this is the amount of heat lost by steam to change into water, which is 560 M. Again, heat gained by 20 gram of water to change its temperature to 22, 10 to obviously final temperature of 80 degrees centigrade. So that is going to be M mass of water into specific heat of water into change in temperature. It is going to be 1400. These two are obviously equal. So you'll end up getting M is equal to 3.5 grams. So 2.5 grams of steam is getting converted into water. The final mass of water that you will obtain in the mixture is initially 20 grams already chilo. Next, 2.5 grams of steam got converted into water. The total will be 22.5 grams. Certain quantity of water cools from 70 to 60 in the first 5 minutes and to 54 degrees in the next 5 minutes. The temperature of the surroundings is obviously our Newton's law of cooling. Use Newton's law of cooling and obviously be careful while I mean आगे आता question है प्रश्न तो बुझाला so hopefully got my first answer. The two answers. One that says option A, Isha option A, Isha option A, Tofika option A. Obviously, whichever form you're using, doesn't matter which form of Newton's cooling law you are using. Since that is option and option A. Answer is option A. Let Ts be the temperature of the surrounding. Same concept. According to Newton's law of cooling, T1 minus T2 by T is equal to K. Obviously, this is change in rate of change of temperature, T2, T1 minus T2 by T. This is average temperature minus temperature of surrounding. Two cases. For first 5 minutes, T1 is 70, it is cooling from 70 to 60 degrees in first 5 minutes. So T1 होएगा लो 70 degrees, T2 60, time देगा अच्छे 5. Obviously this is average temperature. होएगा लो इतना. This is equation 1. Similarly, second case, for next 5 minutes, temperature is cooling from 60 to 54 degrees. So this will be the case using Newton's law of cooling. So this will be equation 2. So obviously two equations, two unknowns, simply eliminate K. You will get temperature of surroundings as 45 degrees Celsius. I think everyone, almost everyone has given the right answer. It's good. Yes. I'm going to move on to my next question. A piece of iron is heated in a flame. It first becomes dull red, then becomes reddish yellow, and finally turns to white hot. The correct explanation for the above observation is possible by using, I think this is a very straightforward, which has as option D, and there shouldn't be any problems. It's simply Lorentz displacement law. Obviously, this is the complete explanation. Obviously, as I keep increasing the temperature, lambda m initially reaches shift towards shorter wavelength. So the color of the heated object will change that of from red to reddish yellow, and when the temperature is sufficiently high, all the wavelengths are emitted, color finally becomes white. This is the explanation. Jano Vane's law key. So I'm not going to go into much details. Moving on to my next question. Molar specific heats of a ideal gas at constant pressure and volume are denoted by Cp and Cv respectively. If gamma is Cp by Cv and R is the universal gas constant, then Cv is equal to, again, straightforward. I need to find the value of Cv in terms of gamma and R. If you remember the formula, well and good. This is option D, Tamanna option D. Option D. By the way, you need to remember this formula. Cv is R by gamma minus 1. This is option D, good. So for an ideal gas, Cp minus, this is the derivation, Cp minus Cv is equal to R, dividing on both sides by Cv. I end up with this. Obviously, Cp minus Cv is gamma. I end up getting Cv is R divided by gamma minus 1. Because of option D, because of option D, good. By the way, remember this. This is to be remembered. Very, very important. Moving on to my next question. Two metal rods, one and two of same length, have same temperature difference between their ends. Their thermal conductivities are K1, K2, cross-sectional area A1, A2, that 1000 and A1, A2. If the rate of heat conduction in one is 4 times that in two, then which of the following is true? Simply you have to use equation for conduction. Any answers yet? So the rate of heat transfer is in conduction obviously is say A by L into delta T. My first answer coming as option A. So obviously same temperature difference between the two, same length. So the only thing that will differ is AA, and obviously it says if the rate of heat conduction in one is 4 times that in two. So let L be the length of each rod, rate of heat flow. This is option A. So the rate of heat flow for one will be this K1 A1 by delta T by L. Rate of heat flow in rod 2 will be this. This is option A. Good. So obviously as per question, H1 is 4 times H2. Simply substitute this in here. We'll end up getting K1 A1 is equal to 4 times K2 A2. Good. Moving on to my next question. Density of water at 20 degrees Celsius, 22 Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius is 998, and at 40 degrees Celsius is 992. The coefficient of volume expansion of water is. The density change has been given to find the coefficient of volume expansion. And as option A, 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 Celsius inverse. Any more answers? Any more answers? To show you the answer, answer is obviously option A. This is the non-approximated relation. একটা হচ্ছে approximation approximate, যখন আমরা approximate করি তখন আমরা এটা লিখি rho 2 is equal to or rho 1 is equal to rho naught 1 minus gamma delta t. This is an approximate equation. এটা হচ্ছে non approximate equation. এখানে non approximate equation use করা হয়েছে. So I think now you should get the answer. Where gamma is my coefficient of volume expansion. So obviously T1 is 20 degrees, T2 is 40 degrees. Rho 2 or rho at temperature T2 is 998. Sorry, rho at temperature 20 is 998. Rho at temperature 40 is 992. Simply go and substitute this. And you will get your answer. 3 into 10 to the power minus 4. I think even if you use 1 minus gamma delta t, I think you will get something close to this if I'm not wrong. Excuse me. Did anyone use this? I think you should get a very answer should be close. Yes, is this clear with? So it's okay. You can use this. I mean, value gulo dekhchilam, it shouldn't matter. So is this okay with everyone? Because a lot of people did not answer. Moving on to my next question. If the radius of a star is r and it acts as a black body, what would be the temperature of the star in which the rate of energy production is Q? Once again, very straightforward. But my first answer, simply use Stefan Boltzmann. কিছু করতে হবে না. Vishaka's option D, Samana option D, Anushri option D, Smita option D. Good. Simple use of Stefan Boltzmann law. Rate of heat production in a star is option D. Good. Sigma A into T to the power 4. A is obviously radius spherical meaning, so A is 4 pi r square So simply bring this down, temperature will be this. Straightforward. And to move on to my next question. Liquid oxygen at 50 K is heated to 300 Kelvin at constant pressure, 1 atmosphere pressure. The rate of heating is constant. Which one of the following graph represents the variation of temperature with time? Obviously, temperature of liquid oxygen. Again, very straightforward if you remember calorimetry and change of state. Tamanna says option A. So option A, good. Actually, option A, simply change of state. As we know, they are all straight lines. dt by rate of heating is constant. Obviously, slope has to be constant at all points. Temperature of liquid oxygen will first increase in the same phase. Obviously, then the liquid oxygen, once it attains its boiling point or vaporization point, it will change to gaseous phase, during which temperature change will remain constant. After that, temperature of oxygen gaseous state will increase. Obviously, option A is correct. Moving on to my next question. Slab of stone of area 0.36 meters square in thickness 0.1 meters is exposed on the lower surface to steam at 100 degrees Celsius. A block of ice at 0 degrees Celsius rests on the upper surface. In 1 hour, 4.8 kilograms of ice is melted. The thermal conductivity of the slab is. I can't see the question. Is everyone else able to see it? 1.24, yes. I'm guessing it is a clear now. No issues. This is option A, and the option A. So obviously, heat provided by the steam is obviously getting transmitted through the block and then transferred to ice. So this is the situation. 100 grams steam is being blown. এটা এই হিটটা এখান থেকে transfer হয়ে is going to melt my ice. The solution is A. Heat flows through the slab is Q T1 minus T2 by L. Obviously, AD temperature 0 degrees, obviously of ice. AD temperature 100 degrees. Rest of area is given, time is given, L is or thickness is already provided. So this is the heat that flows through the slab. Ice is obviously melted by this heat. So Q will be equal to M ice into latent heat of fusion of water, that is this. Simply equate the two. You will end up with 1.24. Obviously, the heat that is flowing through the slab is getting absorbed by ice. This is the heat that is flowing through the slab. This is Q equals Mi into Lf is the heat absorbed by ice. Rest of everything is given. Simply equate the two. Moving on to my next question. Cylindrical metallic rod in thermal contact with two reservoirs of heat at its Q1 conducts an amount of heat Q in time T. Metallic rod is melted and the material is formed into a rod of half the radius of the original rod. What is the amount of heat conducted by the new rod when placed in thermal contact with the two reservoirs in time T, obviously? Obviously, आगे একটা cylindrical metallic rod ছিল, was conducting an amount of heat Q in time T. Now, the same rod has been melted and the new rod is formed whose radius is half the radius of the original rod. Obviously, cross-sectional area change over. What is the amount of heat conducted by the new rod when placed in thermal contact with the two reservoirs? What my first answer? Only two answers. Tamanna says option B. Topika says option B. Q by 16. Any more answers? One more answer. Topika says option B. Good. So the answer is option B, obviously. The option B. Option B. Good. Obviously, initially, length L chilo, area of cross section A chilo, which was equal to pi r square. Amount of heat that was being transferred will be this. Next, where K is the thermal conductivity of the material of the rod. No issue. Now the area of cross section of the new rod is changed. Radius is half. Where initial area, final area will be A by 4. Now the thing is, area volume of the rod remains unchanged. So area change করলে তোমার রডের লেন্থটাও তোমার চেঞ্জ হবে. Obviously volume is the same. So AL will be equal to A dash L dash. So L dash is the length of the new rod. Now volume change হবে না. So the change in length will be 4L. A to A dash we just calculated. A dash is A by 4. Can radius ta half হয়ে যাচ্ছে. Simply substitute this in here. You'll end up with L dash, that is the new length of the rod is 4 times L. So amount of heat that now flows is going to be K A dash by L dash, obviously T1 minus T2 into T. A dash is A by 4. You have calculated this. L dash is 4L. We have also calculated this. We'll simply end up getting 1Q by 16. Obviously, temperature difference between the two ends is the same. Time T is same. Q is same. Moving on to my next question. Total radiant energy per unit area normal to the direction of incidence received at a distance r from the center of a star of radius r, whose outer surface radiates as a black body at a temperature T is given by. So there is a star whose radius is small r. I need the total radiant energy per unit area normal to the direction of incidence received at a distance r from the star. It says option A. Mostly says option A. Manna says option A. A sounds right. This is option A. Good. So simply according to Stephen Boltzmann law, this is the power radiated by my star. I need to simply divide this by the area. R is the radius of the sigma is Stephen's constant. The radiant power received per unit area at a distance of, obviously star is going to radiate energy in all directions. So radiate energy in every given direction. So obviously I need to find the radius of a, I need to find the area of a sphere around it. Obviously A will be, my A will be 4 pi capital R square. Simply divide, you will end up getting option C. And she says, can you show the question please? Question is this. Well, A is wrong. Yes, answer. Why is, oh, A होगा ना, A it will be, अच्छा आंसर है ही नहीं. Small r square. Typing error, this will be small r square. আমিও অত খেয়াল করি. Moving on to my next question. Assuming the sun to have a spherical outer surface of radius smaller, same as last question, radiating like a black body at temperature T degrees Celsius, the power received by a unit surface at a distance r from the center of the sun is. Same as last question. Anna says option C. So I'm just going to show this. There is no, this is the same as the last question. Just just a little change. এখানে T degrees Celsius দেওয়া আছে, obviously the temperature that is given in Stefan Boltzmann law is given in Kelvin. So T के T plus 273 লিখতে হবে, আর কিছু না বাস। তো এটা, so obviously E for a black body is 1. So এটা কেটে যাবে এখান থেকে। Obviously is given sun is behaving like a black body, which is a very bad assumption, but ঠিক আছে। Radiant power received per unit area, simply divide by the area, 4 pi r square. We'll end up with option C. I'm going to move on. Nothing much to discuss over here. Black body at 227 radiates heats at a rate of 7 calories centimeter square second. At a temperature of 727 degrees Celsius, the rate of heat radiated in the same units will be. So at 227 degrees Celsius, 7 calories per centimeter square second of heat is being radiated. What will be the heat radiated at 727 degrees Celsius? What my first answer, and a little bit of it to calculation করতে হবে এখানে। And the rest of it is more answer coming. Option C, option C, good. The pick options honestly option C is option C. Obviously, and option C, 112 was the answer. Get option C. Obviously, rate of heat radiated, obviously ওখানে Celsius এ দেওয়া আছে, so it will be 227 plus 273 is going to be rate of heat radiated at this temperature is 7. So let the rate of heat radiated at 727 degrees Celsius, I have to convert it into Kelvin, obviously Bx. We know according to Stefan's law that heat radiated is directly proportional to T to the power 4. After making all the necessary calculations, I end up with 112, which is option B. How did you get option C? Right. And obviously, please don't forget to convert your Celsius into Kelvin. Moving on to my next question. On a new scale of temperature called the W scale, the freezing and boiling points of water are 39 degrees W and 23.9 degrees W. What will be the temperature on the new scale corresponding to a temperature of 39 degrees Celsius on the Celsius scale? That is 117, option D. So option B is correct. Obviously, Celsius scale there are 100 divisions, and on the new scale, if you see, there are 200 divisions. Because option B very good. Everyone has given the right answer. Good. Option D is correct. It will simply 39 degrees will obviously 1 degree rise in Celsius scale. It will mean two degree rise in the new scale. Obviously, 39 degrees Celsius increase will imply 2 into 39 degrees in the new scale. And obviously, lower temperature এখানে হচ্ছে 0 degree, lower temperature এখানে হচ্ছে 39 degrees. So obviously, I have to add 39 with the lower temperature here, and you end up with 117 degrees W. Moving on to my next question. Black body is at 727 degrees Celsius. It emits energy at a rate which is proportional to. Very, very straightforward question. Very, very straightforward. Tamanna says option B good. Obviously, don't forget to change Celsius into Kelvin. And after 1000 to the power. Option A and B are the same here. Anyway, it will be 1000 to the power 4. And option C and D are also the same here. Anyways, option whatever E will be directly be proportional to 1000 to the power 4. Moving on to the next question. If black body at 127 degrees emits radiation with maximum intensity at 5000 Armstrong, if the temperature body is increased by 1000 degrees, the maximum intensity will be observed at. Yeah, again, pretty straightforward, simple use of Wales displacement law. First answer, this is option A. MS is option A. Simple use of topic option A good. Simple use of Wien's law. Obviously, lambda max T is equal to constant. Obviously, lambda max 1 will be by lambda max 2 will be equal to P2 by P1. Simply the values are changed, put in the values, and you will end up with option 2. Moving on to my next question. Which of the following rods given radius r and length l, each made of the same material and whose ends are maintained at the same temperature, will conduct most heat? Obviously delta T is the same and obviously same material one, conductivity K is the same. Of the following will conduct the, which one of the following conduct the most heat? Given same material and delta T, obviously ends are maintained at the same temperature, delta T is the same. First answer, this is option B, 2R and L naught or I naught. Answer is option B. Answer is obviously option B. Heat conducted is obviously this. Ka delta T by L. Obviously, K is constant, delta T is constant, and obviously time T is constant. A is pi r square. Obviously, I need maximum radius and minimum length, which is only possible for option. Out of all of them, maximum radius, minimum length is possible for option B. R is equal to 2 or not, and L is equal to L naught. Moving on to my next question. Consider a compound slab consisting of two different materials having equal thickness and thermal conductivity K and 2K obeta, by the way. 2K. So equivalent thermal conductivity of the slab is, this is 2K, 2 into capital K. First answer, Snickers as option B, 4 by 3K. As option B, Thomas as option B. The slabs are in series and equal and thermoconductor that consists of two different materials having slabs are in series, so R is equal to R1 plus R2. So L by AK effective will be L by AK plus L by A into 2K. Effective resistance will be 2K by 3. Sorry, effective conductivity will be 2K by 3. 2K by 3. Moving on. Unit of Stefan's constant is again simple. What is the unit of Stefan's constant? It says option A, what meter square K to the power 4? Check. Any more answers? Unit of Stefan's constant is actually B. What by meter square by K to the power 4? Because power is equal to sigma area Q to the power 4. Obviously power होएगा लो watts, area होएगा लो meter square, temperature होएगा लो Kelvin to the power 4. A, B, D same option. No, A, B, D are not the same option. I think only A and B are the same option. D is different. D is watt per meter square K to the power 4. So A, B wouldn't have made any difference because answer is option D. Obviously, watt per meter square by Kelvin to the power 4. That is the unit of Stefan's constant. Moving on to my next question. Consider two rods of same length and different specific heat S1 and S2. How about obviously this will be S2. Conductivity is K1 and K2, and areas of cross section A1 and A2, and both having temperatures T1 and T2 at their ends. If the rate loss of heat due to conduction is equal, then which one of the following is true? Specific heats are given, conductivities are given. Savna says option, Anushri says option A, K1 A1 is equal to K2 A2. Obviously, conduction doesn't depend on specific heats really. As such, so B and D are not possible. Obviously, answer is option A. So rate of heat loss in Q1 will be K1A1, Q1 minus T2 by L1. Q2 will be this. Simply equate the two. You'll end up getting K1A1 is K2A2. Obviously, delta T is same in both cases and length of the two rods are the same. K1A1 equals K2A2. Moving on to my next question. For a black body at temperature 727 degrees Celsius, its radiating power is 60 watts. And the temperature of the surrounding is 227 degrees Celsius. If the temperature of the black body is changed to 1227 degrees Celsius, then its radiating power will be. That is 320 watts. Option B. Because it's 320 watts. Theta option B. Good. Obviously, radiating power of a black body is this. Obviously, T naught is temperature of surrounding. T is the temperature of the black body. T naught is the temperature of the surrounding. 60 will be equal to sigma into this. Obviously, converting my temperatures into Kelvin. In second case, if E dash is the radiating power, then it will be this. Simply take the ratio, you will end up with 320 watts. Obviously, A missing, but it won't matter because when you take the ratio, A will disappear. Moving on to my next. Which of the following is best close to an ideal black body? Which of the following is best close to an ideal black body? Black lamp, cavity maintained at constant temperature, platinum black, lump of charcoal heated to high temperature. It says option B. Obviously, this is a very fact-based. Tamanna says option A. Two more. Tamanna says options. So obviously, option B is correct. This is the explanation. Ideal black body is one which observes all the incident rays without reflecting or transmitting. Black lamp absorbs 96%. An ideal black body can be realized by basically a cavity and leaving a small hole on the wall at uniform temperature. So when heat enters through the hole, it will undergo multiple reflections, and during these reflections, and if you paint the inner wall, the inner wall টাকে আরো যদি তুমি paint করে দাও, then you can make sure it absorbs more and more heat due to multiple reflections. It will act multiple reflections of it, so they'll So the heat absorbed will be more. Finally, you end up something very close to an ideal black body. Moving on to my next question. Cylindrical rod has the rate of heat Q1. It's a very simple question. If all the Riemann dimensions are doubled, keeping temperature constant, is option B good? Is the option B? So this is more of a quick rapid fire. Option B. So obviously heat flow is this. First case it is Q. When linear dimensions are doubled, obviously A is directly proportional to R square. L is equal to 1. A2 हो जाए. Obviously R has now become 2R. So 4R square हो जाए, but L2 will become 2L. Simply put in all the values and you will get Q2 is equal to 2Q